Hello everyone. All right, we are going to be making broccoli cheddar soup today. So you're gonna need some carrots, some broccoli, chicken stock, some flour, a whole onion. I have 2 garlic cloves here. I'm gonna be using a whole block of medium cheddar, so 16 ounces. We have heavy whipping cream. I have some milk. I may not need to add the milk, but if I need to thin it out a little bit, I'll add a little milk to it. We're gonna need black pepper, a little bit of salt, paprika. I am gonna add some additional garlic and some onion powder. Now I do eyeball this. I will be using the entire box of whipping cream, so 16 ounces. I'll be using the entire block of cheddar cheese, both of the cloves of garlic, the entire onion. I'm going to be using probably maybe 4 to 5 carrots, which I am going to just peel them a little bit just to get them a little prettier. And then cheese, I'm going to shred that. We're going to get both heads of broccoli washed off, and I'm just going to be cutting the florets off and chopping the broccoli as big or as little as you like. I am going to be using the entire box of chicken stock. For the flour, I will probably do somewhere between a 1/4 cup and a 1/2 cup, because we can always thin it out. It's harder to thicken it once you get almost complete. So I may just do this. I eyeball things, so I use my eyes for looks and consistency, to the consistency that I want it, and then I also taste it. So it's gonna be hard. So really the only thing, I'll go with a 1/2 cup, and if I don't need the whole 1/2 cup, I just won't use it. And then when it comes to spices, I love black pepper. We're gonna add just a couple twists of salt. We are gonna add a couple dashes of smoked paprika, same with garlic powder, onion powder. So yeah, I'm gonna get my broccoli washed and cut up. I'm gonna peel some of my carrots. That way we can get all that started, and then while the soup is starting to cook, I can shred my cheddar cheese. So I will be back once I get the carrots and broccoli and onion and all of that diced up. So I had just gotten done chopping my onions and broccoli, and I realized I forgot another important ingredient that you're gonna need. So you will need some butter. I'm using 4 tablespoons of, this is salted butter. If you wanted to use unsalted butter, you can, but this is just 4 tablespoons of sweet cream butter. So yes, you will need butter. I got my broccoli chopped, my onions. You can chop the broccoli as big or as little as you like. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 carrots out. I'm getting ready to peel those. The carrots are not very big in that bag, so I'm using 6. If I happen to not need them all, then I won't use them all. I'm just gonna get my garlic chopped, and I'll be back to show you the next steps. Okay, I'm getting my butter melted. Once the butter is melted, we're gonna add our carrots first, and we're gonna cook them for a few minutes until they start to get a little soft, and then we're gonna add our onion. Once the onion is translucent, I will be back to show you the next step. Oh, and I actually, I have to work today, and I should be done cooking this in 30 minutes, but it may not happen. So I just chopped instead of shredding them because I need to use the grater for my cheese. And I do have a 1/2 cup of flour. Not sure if I'm going to use it all yet, but got the garlic chopped, got the broccoli chopped as well. So yeah, once this gets melted, go ahead and add the carrots. Just continually stir them until they start to get a little soft, and then we will add our onion, and I'll be back to show you the next steps. Okay, my carrots have been cooking for about 7 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the onion. And we're gonna give that a stir. And while the carrots were cooking, I went ahead and shredded my cheese, the entire block. So now I'm just gonna put the lid on it. We're gonna put this in the fridge, and I will be back to show you what we do next. Okay, onions are still cooking. We're cooking them until they get translucent. I did go ahead and add black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and 4 twists of sea salt. I still have my garlic here, and my broccoli. We're just going to keep giving this a stir until the onions are translucent. And I'm not going to put my spices away yet because I will taste it later on, and if it needs, you know, more pepper or onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, I will definitely add it. But I did add some to get it started. Now, because I am in a bit of a rush today because I have to work, I did put the lid on it just to get until it will just help the onions and carrots get soft and the onions translucent. As soon as the onions are translucent, we're going to add the garlic, and then we're going to just cook the garlic in there about 2 minutes or so, or until it is fragrant. Once that happens, this all comes together really quick. Once that happens, I am going to add just the entire ½ cup of flour. I can always thin it with milk if needed. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our garlic. Just make sure you continue to stir it. We're going to do it about 2 minutes and then go ahead and add the ½ cup of flour. And we're going to cook the ½ cup of flour in the mixture. It's going to get hard to stir. It's going to get really dry. That's fine. Just go ahead and continue to stir the flour mixture in here for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and add the entire box of chicken stock. All right. Cook my onions for a few minutes. Go ahead and add the entire ½ cup of flour. Continue to stir this for 2 to 3 minutes. And I do have my heat on 8. I have an electric stove. It's on number 8. Go ahead and just keep stirring. Once those 3 minutes are up, go ahead and add your entire box of chicken stock. Okay, we're going to add the entire box of chicken stock. I'm going to bring this back up to a simmer. So I may just increase, because I am in a little bit of a rush, I'm going to turn the heat back up to high just until it starts to simmer, and then I'll bring it back down. All right, let's get it up to a simmer. And I forgot to mention, I will continue to just stir this. So I'm not going to leave it. I'm just going to stand here, continue to stir it until it comes up to a simmer. So as you can see, as it is starting to come up to a simmer, it is getting thicker. Once it does come to that simmer, I'm going to add my entire bowl of broccoli. And I'm going to reduce the heat back to 8. We're going to cook the broccoli in here for about 5 minutes or so. Then we're going to go ahead and add the entire 16-ounce container of the whipping cream. But before you add the whipping cream, I'm actually going to once the broccoli cooks for 5 minutes, I'm going to remove this pan from the heat, turn it down to low. I'm going to add the whipping cream when it's off of the heat. I'm going to get it stirred back in, and then I'll replace the pan back onto the burner on low. After a couple minutes of the whipping cream, we're going to slowly start adding in our cheese. And you do want to keep it on low. You can even take it off the heat, but if you find that the cheese is not melting, you can just put it back on low. You do want to add the cheese little bits at a time until you get all the cheese added in, and I will be back once I get the broccoli added in. Okay, I got my broccoli added in. Now this is totally up to you. I am going to add some more chicken stock. I had an extra one. So if you're going to follow the recipe exactly how I have it, I would do two boxes of the chicken stock, and I'm going to add about half. Only because I used a lot of vegetables. All right, that should do it. All right, we're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes or so, and then we will take it off the heat. We'll add the entire box of heavy cream, and I'll be back once we do that. Okay, I just removed it from the heat. I did not have to add any more flour or anything like that with adding that additional half box of chicken stock. So now we're going to add the entire box. I'm going to do it a little bit at a time. The entire box of whipping cream. And I do have this off the heat. I turned the heat back to low. So just add a little bit at a time and continue to stir it in. And then once we get it all in, just slowly start adding the cheese. But if you find that the cheese is not melting, go ahead and put it back on that low burner. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. Okay, I got the entire container of whipping cream in here. And I did move mine back onto the burner that's on low. And I'm just gonna slowly start adding the cheese until you get the entire container in there and it's all melted. And then you're gonna go ahead and give it a taste once all the cheese is melted. If it needs any more spices, go ahead and add those. And if you want your vegetables, if they're, you know, not as soft as you'd like, just leave it on low, put the lid on it, but just continue to stir it. Some people like their broccoli and carrots, you know, with a little bit of a bite. Some people prefer them softer. So I'm just going to continue to add the cheese like this, just little handfuls at a time until the cheese gets melted, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, our broccoli cheddar soup is done. Now I did just add, go ahead and taste it. Add more spices to your liking. I did add a little bit more paprika, a little bit more sea salt, black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I did give it a taste, and now it's perfect. So once I get it into the bowl, I'm gonna let it cook for another like 5 minutes or so, since I just added some additional spices. Once I get it into the bowl, I will show you what it looks like, and we'll give it another taste. And I also just wanted to mention that I am not adding any milk at all. So I think this consistency is perfect, the way I like it. So no additional milk for me, just I did add that half box, the additional half box of the chicken stock. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this cook for a few minutes and then I'll get it into a bowl and we'll give it another taste. Okay, my broccoli cheddar soup is done. So we're gonna give it a taste. I just have a roll here. I'm just gonna tear it in pieces and dip it in my soup. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention earlier, I used a medium cheddar. If you wanted to use like a sharp cheddar cheese, you can absolutely do that. All right, let's give this a taste. That is good. Perfect for leftovers too. Very good. I'm gonna tear a piece off my roll. I'm gonna give it a dip. Oops, I got it on my phone. Yeah, this heats up very well also. Very, very good. My phone is acting crazy, doing all kinds of crazy things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.